All right, Larry Krueger down here at Levi's getting ready for training camp practice number 17, the first practice after the 49ers beat the Denver Broncos Saturday night. In preseason game number 2, due to a fourth quarter comeback, 21-20. Now, a couple notes before practice today. 49ers have signed wide receiver Anthony Miller, former Memphis star, was a second-round pick by the Chicago Bears. Interesting pickup, I should say. Danny Gray's got a clavicle injury. Ray McCloud is out. The Niners are a little short at wide receiver. And Miller's interesting. He can return kicks. He's about 6 feet. He's got good hands, good quickness. I really liked him at Memphis, second-round pick by the Bears. It hasn't worked out for him in a couple different spots, but he's got talent. There's no question about it. And with Gray out and with Ray out, you lose some of your vertical speed and you lose some of your return ability on special teams. What does Anthony Miller do? Basically those things. He gives you a little speed and he gives you a little ability as a return man. So I really like that pickup. Now, the other news of the day is that Jeremy McNichols suffered a hamstring injury in the preseason game. And so the 49ers picked up Brian Hill today, who just got cut recently by the XFL, who's a fifth-round pick by the Falcons in 2017. Hill has played for Atlanta, Cincinnati, Tennessee, Cleveland, and obviously now he's coming to the Niners. Niners have looked at him a couple times. The one thing about Hill, he's 6'1", he's 220. He's a good-sized back, and he can block. The one thing with Bobby Turner and Anthony Lynn, if you don't block, you don't get on the field, and it's a non-starter for them. So I don't think Hill's going to make the team, but he is a veteran NFL running back that's been through the battles, and he gives them some depth so they don't have to overuse their running backs Friday night against the San Diego Chargers, who are now in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Chargers, if you will. So there you go. Danny Gray and McNichols hurt, Brian Hill and Anthony Miller added, and that's kind of what we're, now you're all cut up to speed. As far as today in practice, it'll be interesting to see what the tempo of practice is like. There were some clear winners and losers from that preseason game that stood out against Denver. One, on the winner side, Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell was fantastic. I mean, he's got ball skills. He went off in the fourth quarter. He had 7 catches for 114 yards. He really looked good, I thought. 5 of those catches coming in the fourth quarter. And if you look at him, there's an array of different type catches. What I love about Bell is he's just very advanced for a rookie receiver. A lot of rookie receivers get overwhelmed by the complexity of NFL offenses. Not Ronnie Bell. A lot of them don't have the nuances of the position down, how to efficiently run routes, how to get into and out of your breaks, how to pluck the ball with your hands. There's several nuances to playing wide receiver, and so wide receivers, oftentimes, even good ones, come into the NFL and it takes them a year, sometimes 2, to get acclimated, get up to speed, master some of the nuances of the position. But Ronnie Bell's dad is a college football wide receiver coach, and so he's been drilled, from a young age on how to play the position, and in some ways he's very advanced. When you look at him, you say, he doesn't look like much. He's average size, average speed. Nothing really stands out to you until the game starts. In fact, in training camp, I thought he looked relatively average until the pads came on. When the pads came on and they started playing real football, Ronnie Bell starts to shine, and he has continued to shine in the preseason in the first couple games. Caught a beautiful pass from Sam Darnold in the game against the Raiders in Vegas, and then, as I said, 7 catches for 114 against Denver, and I think Ronnie Bell's got a great chance to make this roster. He was a clear winner on Saturday night. Another guy who was a clear winner, in my opinion, was Trey Lance. Trey Lance came in with, a minute left in the third quarter. And what did he do on the last 2 drives? He completed 80% of his passes, 8 of 10 for Lance on the final 2 drives. And he throws the 22-yard cut pattern, the in, the out, just on a frozen rope. His deep cut patterns, or his deep cut balls, are just fantastic. He'll put it on a line and stick it on your hands too. So he even shows good accuracy on those passes. So I thought Trey played really well, and of course it all wrapped up with a touchdown that he threw to Cam Latu, who's obviously another positive here. Latu, you know, who had a rough week and a half or so of dropping the ball, had his best performance and may have kind of put himself back on the map towards securing a roster spot. That was huge for the third-round pick. A couple other guys that really stood out that are really vital to the Niners this year. One is Sam Womack. Womack had 2 pass broken up plays, playing exclusively on the outside, allowing Deommodore Lenoir to play that slot position. I thought Womack looked really comfortable outside, and if Womack and Ambry Thomas are comfortable outside, then that allows the Niners to play Deommodore Lenoir inside, and maybe he starts over Isaiah Oliver, who has not had a particularly good camp and had a holding penalty in this game as well. So Womack's good fortune might be Oliver's bad fortune, but Womack is coming on. And if Womack and Ambry Thomas can play that outside corner position, I think the Niners are getting their best combination of corners on the field. The other guy who I thought played really well Saturday night was Colton McKivitz. You know, McKivitz is the question mark on this offensive line. He's the first-year starter at right tackle. He has very little experience as a starter in the NFL. He's trying to step in for Mike McGlinchey, who went to Denver in the offseason. McKivitz had 0 pressures allowed in 9 pass-blocking snaps. So he's getting it done. And to me, I really believe in Colton. I think he's going to be able to get it done. I don't think he's a major downgrade from McGlinchey. So that was great to see. As far as the losers from Saturday night, there were a few. The offensive line still struggling as a whole, I mean, especially the 2s and the 3s. The offensive line as a whole allowed 3 sacks and 5 penalties. And they just need to be better. They need to be a whole lot better. Jake Moody in the special team unit. I mean, I would say special teams overall. Jake Moody missed a PAT. Mitch Wishnowsky shanked 2 punts. The 49er coverage unit, their kickoff coverage unit, allowed a 44-yard kickoff return to Jaleel McLaughlin. So special teams, you know, Brian Schneider's special team unit did not play particularly well. And then maybe most importantly, the Niner defensive front, which I think most people think of as a strength of the football team. The run D allowed 6.6 yards per carry on 25 carries to the Broncos running backs. Javonte Williams ran at will. McLaughlin ran at will. 6.6 yards a carry, a lot of that up the gut. Not good to see. And this is coming after the Raiders gashed them the week before on the ground. So the 49er run D, they may need to find a defensive tackle in the middle that can plug up the run. Armstead is really good. Hargrave is a great pass rusher, but man, they could use one more run-stuffing defensive tackle. Now, they'd love it to be Javon Kinlaw, but Kinlaw, because of knee problems and persistent knee pain, has played 24 games and had 1.5 sacks in his entire career, and he did not play Saturday night. So, and his status for this roster is up in the air. At times, Kinlaw's looked really good in the one-on-ones, but at times he doesn't get a lot done on defense. He doesn't rush the passer. He's not a real mobile pass rusher. So they need him to stay home, be solid, gap solid, very solid, and stay in his spot and play the run. And he couldn't get in this game, and I'm not sure what the issue is. So Kinlaw is a really interesting guy to watch between now and the cutdown coming up on the 29th. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. That's our preview of training camp practice number 17. They'll be out on the field later today. We'll give you a post-practice recap, the good and the bad, and an instant reaction after practice. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Crew Show on YouTube.